will. This is the Sports Porch, Black and Gold, with your hosts, the Technical Director, the Grand Schwabini, and Hockey Jesus. Come on, Pittsburgh. Let's show a little Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates love. The Sports Porch Black and Gold starts now. All right, everybody, here we are, Sports Porch Black and Gold. Welcome to the show. We are coming to you live all over the world on Facebook, YouTube, X, and of course, we're going to drop the podcast right after the show on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or where you get your friggin' podcasts. And we are,
Pirate is back.
In case you were wondering, we are, yes, live on Radio PGH. I'm going to drop that comment right there. I hope everybody gets it. So if you want to listen to the show instead of watch it while you're driving your car, you can go to this stream here and you can listen to us live on Radio PGH. I am your technical director. Across from me in the studio is the Grand Schwabini, as always. Hockey Jesus is to my right in the studio, and you may have noticed that there's an additional person here with us.
What? Sure is.
To my left, this is Curtis Drain of Steel City Draft Gear. Welcome to the porch, Curtis.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much, guys.
Yes.
Welcome,
good to have
Curtis.
you here.
Good to see you here.
And if you
looking good.
If you didn't already notice Curtis, you may have noticed that there's something a little bit different yet similar about our looks tonight, and that is
and Chris shaved.
Logo. Yeah, always big, shaved. I look smaller. And according to the Grand Schwabini, I look older.
Yeah.
I don't know how that is. My beard is gray.
Yeah,
my
but
beard
like
makes me look old.
you just look like an old man now.
Oh, okay. How about when I take off my reading glasses?
Now you look a little younger.
A little younger.
Yeah, a little
Okay.
younger.
Anyway, so you can see up here, new logo. Want to thank Curtis for the gear. New gear. Now, this gear is very important because this gear is something that is coming out here shortly, right?
Friday. It'll be live online for you guys
Friday.
and your fan base.
Yes.
Ooh.
Awesome. So
Get your swag.
Curtis of Steel City Draft Gear. You look down in the ticker. For those of you listening, steelcitydraftgear.com. Real easy to remember, right, Schwaber? You can remember
It's so
that,
easy. Yes.
right? Are you going to be buying Amy some of this stuff?
You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you
How
never
about
know.
you think Susan would sport one of these hats around the
No,
house?
but I'd definitely get one for Max.
There you go.
100%.
Yeah,
There you go.
I mean,
Deserves one.
he did the logo.
Max did the
I mean,
logo.
yeah, he
Yeah.
definitely got to have a hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
At least.
getting straight to the point here, Curtis is the founder of SteelCityDraftGear.com. Obviously, everybody knows the draft is coming to Pittsburgh, the NFL draft in April of next year. Is it
Yep.
April? It's April.
April
right?
next year.
Look at
April
that
of next
bag.
year. And Curtis is showing us some of that draft gear right now. We're going to bring him back. Are we keeping him on the show?
Keep
like
him
a-
on the
that's like-
show.
that's like
We
a
decided
terrible
to keep him
towel.
on
I'll
the
be
show.
more than happy to stay.
Amy says she will be happy to wear the Sports Porch logo.
There you go. Of course she will.
Look at that right there.
Our number
That's
one
it.
fan.
There it is.
Those are the
Yep.
credentials to
When
get you in.
When the pick is in. That's right.
Pick is in.
Yeah, I mean, we got all kinds of swag running around this place.
Yep.
Look at that. That's ridiculous. Look at
Towels
that.
in
It's a
white,
towel.
black, yellow.
Yeah.
Another
Orange.
hat.
Hats.
Another hat.
Yeah. Yeah. So Friday, SteelCityDraftGear.com. Use the promo code PORCH. You get 5% off on your order. There's all kinds of bundles leading up to this draft, which is a historic event in Pittsburgh, probably the largest event that has ever happened in this city.
Oh, yeah.
Period.
Mhm.
It definitely
Period.
is.
Yes, sir.
And we shall see, but the plan at the moment is that we will be down there on draft day and we will be broadcasting live while selling merch with Curtis and crew.
Don't make any promises. Flora.
Don't make any promises you can't keep.
No
look,
promises.
Mike Lawrence is back. He's
Hey, Mike wondered where you were.
back from a cruise to Norway.
Norway.
All right.
Wow.
Spent a little time with some Norwegians. That's good for you.
A
Some
little afraid of the plane there, Mike. Had to take a cruise out there.
Little Viking love maybe going on there. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I don't really know what you really do in Norway.
I don't know.
Neither do I.
There's
No,
probably like
no.
some good mountains out there.
I
So-
hope he didn't go in a canoe. That's all I hope.
Norway's not on anybody's list here to visit then.
No,
No, I mean, I'd go.
yeah.
I'd go.
not
Nordic
on my
countries.
bucket list, but
It's
if
yeah.
I got invited, I go.
Right.
I mean,
Norway,
if somebody said
Sweden.
let's do Sweden, Finland, and Norway, I might say okay.
Yeah.
I might.
Hey, the Pens are playing up that way.
Now the big question is there any good French onion soup over there? I don't know. I don't know.
No, but I'm sure there's
I'm
some
thinking no.
like Icelandic cod. No, I don't know. I don't know. That's
Probably some good
that's
schmelt.
some schmelt.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sardines.
Okay. This show's supposed to be about sports, so that's what
we
we're
should-
going
Did
to do.
did anything big happen today?
Absolutely.
Something happened today.
What
What happened?
happened?
Like somebody
Everybody's-
traded somebody.
Everybody's way too excited today about this. All right, remember, SteelCityDraftGear.com. We're going to talk to Curtis a little bit about his idea around this this merchandise and the branding of it and
The draft.
and all of that kind of stuff. We're going to talk to him after we go over some of the big news of the day. Of course, the
Yes,
Pittsburgh
sir.
Steelers. Minkah is out. Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith are in. I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to answer this question. Overall,
Mm-hmm.
did the Steelers get better?
They did.
Over you? Okay, take it away,
Absolutely.
Schwaber.
Well, I love the trade. I mean,
Mhm.
I got to tell you, there's not a lot that the Steelers have done in recent times that I've loved, but
That is true.
I do love this, and I'll tell you why. I mean, to me, I feel like they sort of got two players for one, if you want to call Minkah one, because he had actually been playing pretty poorly for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So you get a Pro Bowl level corner. You know, you get a player that, you know, look, and maybe it's not anything that's Minkah's fault. Maybe he just sort of hit his ceiling and he just started coming down, right?
Mhm.
You know, sometimes that's what happens. But, you know, what you're looking at here is you're looking at, you know, a Pro Bowl player. Jonnu Smith is apparently a Pro Bowl-esque type of player.
85 targets last year.
Yeah, 85 targets. So it's
7 touchdowns.
so it's a good receiver to be using. And, you know, I also like the fact that now we're not entirely sure how they're going to use everybody, but I'm going to guess that your starting corners are Slay and Jalen Ramsey. And if that's the case, maybe not. Maybe not.
I don't think that's going to be the case.
I did also hear one person say, would they move JPJ to safety?
No.
No, but see what I would do, what I would love to do is I would love to put, you know, first of all, you know, a slot corner these days is a starter.
That's
Okay.
true.
They play all the time. It's not like it's like a negative
And nickel back that comes in like once or twice.
Right. And
Yeah.
very few people have good players at that position. I think that's actually an area where you could take advantage of JPJ's physicality to push some of those smaller slot guys around, and he could be really effective there. And of course, you know, when Slay plays off, and you know, maybe if Jalen Ramsey gets nicked up, then he's just right back out there as a starter. I think he learns from those two. He might even contribute really, really well as a slot corner. Now you've also got a good tight end. And look, I'll be honest. I mean, Minkah was really fun and exciting the first 2 years he was here, but the last 2 years,
One interception.
interception.
Right.
He just really wasn't
No
making
splash
plays. And we were basically making excuses for him all the time. Like, well, they're not asking him to do that, you know, or, you know, like, and, you know, the bottom line is that, you know, maybe he just wasn't as good. And I think they made a really nice trade here. So I'm very excited about it.
Well, as far as Minkah goes, his big highlight last year was getting run over by King Henry in the playoffs.
Yeah,
That by
that's true.
far was his
Right.
biggest
Right.
highlight, which is obviously a low light.
Yes.
I have a slightly different take, though, on what I think
Okay.
they're going to do. I agree with you that Jonnu Smith and Jalen Ramsey coming over improves the offense and the defense. We can absolutely
Mhm.
say that.
Yeah.
The only thing that I wish they would do is I wish they would do something differently about what they're going to be doing with that wide receiver 2 position, because now it's basically
Yeah.
going to be they're probably going to make Freiermuth a wide receiver 2, maybe Jonnu Smith.
Well,
But
maybe
the
they're not
reality-
done. Maybe they're not
no,
done.
they're done. Because look, Arthur Smith loves to run 2 tight ends. He'll probably run 3 tight end sets now. The question is who will they get rid of? Will they get rid of Washington, or will they get rid of Hayward? You know, because they got to get rid of one of them. They're not keeping 4 tight ends on this team.
Yeah.
It would be.
I don't know about that.
They might.
I think it would
They
be.
might.
I think it would be a dumb thing to do. And the Steelers have done dumb things in the past, so it's possible.
No.
But as far as the defense is concerned, I think what they're going to do is they're going to have Ramsey and they're going to have Slay, and they're going to kind of play a tandem position. They're both going to play a lot, but I think they're going to tag team in for each other. So and that way, neither of them, get winded, and they can play. They don't have to worry about those guys not being healthy for the full season, because guys of their age, you worry about injuries. Now, I don't think you have to worry about that if you let them both play in. And I agree with you. I think they'll also play all three of them in that slot position.
Mm-hmm.
Beanie's going to be out. He'll play somewhat, but he won't be the guy anymore in that.
He'll be the fourth corner.
Yeah. But I mean, you only play four corners when they put five wide out. That doesn't happen very often. Maybe more so in Cincinnati's offense. So I think that's where you'll see that happen. But yeah, absolutely, they're much better. I mean, they got an upgraded tight end, they got an upgraded cornerback, and they got rid of a headache. The only thing that does worry me a little bit, I thought at first it looked like it was an even swap with the salary, but as it turns out, Ramsey's more expensive, and he's actually signed for a couple years, not just this year.
And the one thing about
that's a little concerning, because he is older, but he's still an upgrade at that position.
Sure. The one thing about that, but we want to let you speak your mind as well.
Please, that would be wonderful.
Mr. Calvin.
Thank you.
But if there's one potential negative, is TJ Watt now pissed off because they're paying a good amount of money to Jalen Ramsey and he's waiting on his contract?
Well, he's always going to be pissed off till he gets his money. I mean, that's a guarantee. The question is, will he still get his money this year or not?
Well,
your thoughts?
Thanks.
Wise one.
Thanks for allowing me to speak here.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I'm not sure they got better. Ramsey has been around 2 years longer than Minkah.
Well, who's Ramsey going to replace?
I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. When I first heard the news, I didn't know that they had traded Minkah. So I thought, oh, okay. They're adding some depth. He's a veteran. He's had years where he's been really, really good, but he's pretty much near the end of his career. Then I saw that they traded Minkah, and I thought, what are they going to do at safety? It's not
Deshaun Elliott.
I get it.
Deshaun Elliott.
I get it, but it's kind of like you're kind of opening up one hole to fill maybe not a hole you really had. I mean, it's not that I think it was bad. I'm just a little puzzled by how they maneuvered it and why they would trade Minkah when they based so much of their defensive, personality in the secondary on Minkah.
Do you really think they have a hole now at safety?
Well, I'm not saying they have a hole, but I don't think that they got better at safety. I look at the secondary as a group, and now I see that secondary is much stronger with Ramsey and not Beanie Bishop in there, but somebody like Ramsey or Slay or JP Jr. and you just keep Deshaun Elliott in there, and there you go. Yeah, that's all you need.
I think the other thing is that you can be stronger at corner. That's more important. Safety is one where you can get away a little bit if you don't have the best safety in the world.
Yeah, I hear you there, but I'm
if
looking
you got
at
three strong corners, which they do now.
Are you hearing me there?
I am hearing you there. Okay. I'm actually hearing you right here. So look, it's obvious to me that the Steelers are all in. If there's any takeaway from this, they're all in on the Aaron Rodgers year that we're going to have, because we're basically going to have 1 year of Aaron Rodgers. I mean, does anybody think he's going to come back?
They'd have to have a great year.
No, he pretty much said this is it.
It'd have to be a great year
without saying
think about coming back.
Yeah. Now, CD, the doctor's in the house. He says the Steelers are getting older and short-term better. I mean, everybody seems to think that this makes them better, but like you said in the text between us before the show, highest paid defense or what? Highest paid defense or
best defense in the NFL or
overpaid.
Best overpaid defense.
Yeah.
In the NFL.
I mean, are we looking at that?
Well, I thought at the time when I said that, I didn't know who they traded for Jalen Ramsey. once I realized they dumped Minkah's contract on him, I like that. I like it so much better just because of all the things Mark said about the last 2 years. I think he's gone stale. And I think the safety is one of those positions that you can get away with an okay safety in today's NFL
Reed
and not worry
Blankenship.
about it.
Reed Blankenship. That's all I got to say.
Right. The Eagles safety.
He's okay.
Right. Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah.
Mike Lawrence, do you guys think they will use Beanie?
One of the best teams in the NFL.
Right.
Beanie to
Last
spell
2 years.
the other guys for a play or three. Yeah,
they'll still do that, Mike, for sure. I mean, Beanie's not going anywhere. And he played well there when he did have to make plays. He got interceptions.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's going to go anywhere. He's just going to be used less frequently. And I think that's better for the defense, frankly.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit more about this, but I want to bring Curtis back into the conversation here for a minute. And I want to highlight Steel City Draft Gear, steelcitydraftgear.com. That's where you can get your 2026 Steel City Draft Gear. That was clever, wasn't it?
That was good.
Curtis, you didn't get me one of those towels. I got to get me one of those.
They're here. In the studio. I got them for you. I got a whole big
right there
package.
Yeah, I got a black one.
There
nice.
you go.
It's our version of the terrible towel.
So Curtis, how did Steel City Draft Gear get started? What motivated you to do this?
Okay, so I've been living in Pittsburgh for about 11 years, and I lived a lot of different places. And what people kept asking me was, "Why are you thinking about staying in Pittsburgh?" And I said, "Yeah." They said, "Why?" I said, "Because it has a certain charm about this place. I see a lot of historical moments all over the city in different boroughs, and I just kind of fell in love with that charm." But one thing I did notice about Pittsburgh was it didn't have any like worldly events going on here. So I'm used to living in places where they have like, Super Bowl and the events that jump around from city to city.
Right.
And within the first couple of years, I noticed none of that was here. And then I started paying attention to like social media politics, what I'll call it. And I heard the city of Pittsburgh had applied for some stuff, but they didn't get it because we didn't have enough hotel rooms and space to house people. And then all of a sudden, one year I looked up and I started seeing a shift. And I started seeing hotels go up everywhere. Even if they were empty, they were brand new.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, "Oh, I see something." And I kept telling my wife, and she lived here all her life. And she said, "No." I said, "You know what? It'd be nice if they got the draft or something." And one of my friends said, the easiest one for them to probably get is the draft. And although it's huge, the draft is like the Mercedes-Benz. You don't have to explain what it is.
Right.
If it's coming, it's coming.
Yeah.
So then when we were looking at that we were up for it, we started thinking about, well, what could we do that, because I wear many hats. And I understand online services, memorabilia, T-shirts, hoodies. I said, you know what? I know the guys do what they do, but nobody really pushes the draft itself. I said, I'm going to make it shine. I'm going to put everything draft on all this memorabilia because Pittsburgh people, they're proud people. And when you highlight something they're proud of, they will sport it, they'll wear it, and they'll walk through the coals. A few years ago, friends of mine went to Costa Rica, and this is how I knew the power of Pittsburgh and the Steel City. We were over in Costa Rica. It was 20 of us. We go on the beach. They had a Steelers flag out there.
Yeah.
I'm talking about as big as a building.
Yeah.
I was blown away. I'm like, oh, my God. So
Yeah.
I understand the star power of Pittsburgh, and I embraced it. I ran with it, and I want to be part of the fabric of it as it goes into this draft. And we got till April of next year to really stand in the spotlight and be a part of it. And I just want to do Draft City all the way to the end, and get people involved with it. And then when I met you guys, that was just the icing on the cake.
That's when your life changed dramatically.
Yeah.
Maybe
for the better.
Yep.
That jury's still out.
Yeah. Notice I said your life changed dramatically.
Right.
Whatever side that's going to fall on, I can't guarantee you anything.
It was a nice start meeting me. Now the rest,
they
we'll
brought me
see
in
what
on
happens.
And Mark said, "I got somebody I want you to meet." And then we sat down, had a cup of coffee, and I talked with Chris. And first thing he said was, Well, when I introduce you to him, he likes to drop the F-bomb a lot. I like him already.
Yeah.
I like him already.
Did you tell him?
Yeah, I had to prepare him for you.
Yeah.
I think because that's how I talk.
He likes to drop the F bomb a lot. I mean,
He ain't wrong.
who doesn't? Who doesn't? Well, whatever.
I mean, I've been known to do it.
I'm not
Sure.
embarrassed. or
Sometimes we
anything.
do it.
Just,
I mean, some more than others.
yes. Some,
And then at the end of the day, after
Men
we
of a
start-
certain age, that's what we do.
that is
and
true.
at the end of the day, after we started developing, I was designing everything, and I wanted to also make something very intimate with some of the gear. And if you notice the draft gear, I noticed when I got here, it was all about Steel City.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
when people come here, they're gonna look for something that says Pittsburgh. So I put the construction hat in Steel City there,
Mm-hmm.
and then I also noticed the Yinzer piece at the top.
Yep.
And inside of it, I did a line called the Yinzer Collection.
Yep.
So as we start to come up with good ideas, I'll design them
Mhm.
and put them on the gear, and we will start celebrating not only Pittsburgh and its illustrious history, but we'll also start embracing the Yinzer collection.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like
That
that.
is a big.
We have a
deal.
Yinzer with us right now.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He is a true blue
I
Yinzer.
was
Yes,
the
sir.
first Yinzer that Chris ever met.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
I
right.
think so, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So it will
You
be
were-
celebrated throughout it, and that's what we're doing.
Yes,
Yeah.
you were also the first mullet I ever met. Yeah,
It's a celebration
And
of
now
Steve.
you're wearing one, so
Yeah.
congratulations! You finally made it to my level.
That's right. A
Yes,
celebration of Steve.
and to celebrate more of the show, and I'm gonna give the microphone back to you guys. After we did this, they talked about it at the beginning of the show. If you notice, all the hosts of the show, they are wearing matching gear, and
yes,
including myself.
Mhm.
yes, we are.
So
Woohoo!
they didn't even ask me to do this. I did it out of
You
love.
did. I showed up, and you're like, "Hey, I got
Very
gear
kind.
for you," and I'm
Very
like,
kind of you.
"Bring it
Very
on!
kind
Let's
of you.
go for it!"
Yeah.
I love
We
it.
do thank you for that.
I watched the show.
It's good quality,
I was
too.
invited to
Mhm.
watch. Thank you.
Yeah, it is.
Mhm.
I watched the show,
It
and
is.
as I started to watch it, I kept looking at cool stuff that they were talking about, and just the warmth of the show and how these guys bond with the viewing audience. I said, you know what? Let me make them all look cool, because they already cool right now.
Right.
But I want them to look cooler.
now-
Some of us
That's-
needed it more
That's
than
a
others.
steep curve. Making us look cool. I mean,
Yes,
if you
sir.
do that, you can walk on water.
Did you plan that, Curtis? Did
No,
you
I
plan
did
that?
not.
Marvin,
I was speaking straight from
when,
the heart.
when do you have Chris going in for plastic surgery?
Oh wow!
Hey,
Look, we gotta crawl before we walk.
he got Chris to shave.
He did. Yeah.
That's a first step.
Yeah. That was pretty good.
Nice,
Pretty good.
nice.
Pretty
Yeah,
good.
Yep. Sometimes these guys don't even know I'm baiting them. You think I didn't know this would happen? Marvin Hamilton's in the house. Good evening, guys. Marvin, welcome back. Thanks for being here. Let's see. Good luck making these guys look cool, says the doctor. Mike Lawrence says, rock on, Curtis. Good job. So yeah, anybody out there, if you're listening, steelcitydraftgear.com. Starting Friday, you can get the Sports Porch branded stuff. He's got a whole other collection of things.
Yeah, he's got
as
some
well.
great stuff. You got to
Right
check
now-
it out.
Yeah.
Right now, draft oriented, but
Yes.
maybe other
And
stuff
how-
in the future.
Absolutely.
And how do you get a Sports Porch discount?
Use the promo code Porch.
Ooh,
Here it is.
okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's pretty
Use the
easy.
promo
Just
code
for you
Porch.
guys.
Yep.
Just for you.
Just for
guys.
our fans.
You will see the promo box at checkout. Just put promo in, and you can get that discount.
There you go.
All right.
Okay, let's go back to the Steelers for a couple minutes here. So, first of all, I want you to hit that subscribe button on YouTube if you're watching us there at the Sports Porch Podcast. You can listen to the podcast anywhere you get your podcasts. We got a bunch of people on X watching us as well, so click that follow button. I want to thank you guys for being here. Where are we going with this? Steelers. Back to the Steelers. Okay, so Jonnu Smith. Let's talk about him.
Let's do it.
He was in the Pro Bowl.
Yep.
He worked with Arthur Smith a couple years,
He did in Tennessee
and
back when his offense was really good.
yep, that is definitely you. Whatever that noise is.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. You're touching. Are you touching?
Nope.
What are you touching?
Hands
now,
off.
remember what I had said before the show.
Yeah, but it's always
If something goes awry,
just roll
keep
with it.
going.
Just roll with
Keep
The
going.
people
Well, I
don't
mean,
care about
People
that little
don't
hump.
care about the little.
it. Yeah. All right, so back to Jonnu Smith.
Yeah.
Good move or bad move? Aaron Rodgers mentioned that he really he was really impressed with Darnell Washington's size, and they made innuendos that he was probably going to use him more in the offense. You guys know how I feel.
This is a you thing.
I know.
Now, Curtis, what Chris does is Chris falls in love with a player.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And when he falls in love with a player, he often uses the acronym HOF, which stands for Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Mount Washington,
Brock Purdy.
Mount Washington, I don't know. Was he at like
Pickett.
7 career catches?
Probably less.
But Chris,
that's probably about right.
But Chris Klein feels that he is special. And so now they bring in a guy, Geno Smith, who's been in the Pro Bowl and has had 85 catches in one season alone. And he's concerned that
88 last year, actually.
Okay, and he's concerned that Mount Washington's not going to get his fair share.
Well, he's not
That
now.
is
That's
not
for
true.
sure.
Yeah,
that is not true. Now, I want to correct you on one thing. Darnell Washington has 26 career receptions.
Okay,
Oh.
so we might have missed some.
Quadruple what we thought.
We might have missed some going to the restroom.
Yeah,
Right.
and he does have a touchdown. No, I guess my thought process is I think that this is a wide receiver 2 situation. I think they're done.
I agree with you.
I'm with you
Yeah.
on that. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, Johnny Smith is an upgrade. Honestly, I think he's an upgrade over Freiermuth because here's the thing that we haven't talked about yet, and this is probably the most important thing. He creates matchup problems because he is so tall and so big. How are they going to cover him and DK Metcalf?
Mhm.
They can't.
Yeah,
There are not 2 teams that have that quality of that size of a cornerback. So it creates a mismatch somewhere. They're going to either have to play that now in a zone because they can't play it via man. And if they send him over the middle and he's a big target over the middle, as long as he catches it and doesn't do the Freiermuth tip thing in somebody else's arms, it's going to work out for the best. And I think that's probably the most important thing about Jonnu Smith. The one thing people aren't talking about, the reason Miami wanted to get rid of him was because he wanted more money.
Right.
I don't know that he's not going to hold out. I mean, no. Why wouldn't he? I mean, he wants to get paid.
There has to be.
Do you think they're going to have to sign him like they're going to have to sign TJ?
They might have talked to him about, we're going to do this for you.
I mean,
so that made him happy to come.
That would mean the Steelers were actually planning on getting him. I think they looked at this as we can get rid of Minkah. Let's see who else we can get in the deal, and then we'll deal with the effects of that later.
Is he a free agent after the end of this year? Is this last year?
This is his last year of his contract. Yeah.
Well, see, I don't
$4.5 million, and he wants something like $8 or $10 million.
I don't see him holding out.
I would be surprised that they didn't check into that.
You know what this strikes me as? Like they're going to say like a week later or 2 weeks later, they're going to say, and they reorganized his deal. He's going to make an extra $2 million this year.
Yeah,
so something just to kind of keep him happy, and then it's a play for your contract year.
Yeah, Marvin says Washington is a great blocker.
Like
the new
TJ.
guy is a receiving tight end. Yeah, he's right.
Well, the other thing too that I think this could help is we've all had concerns about the offensive line. If now you're bringing out 2 tight ends all the time, that actually helps the offensive line tremendously.
Right. It does,
because now the defensive ends either got to chip that tight end, or they at least have to run around it. That gives that tackle a little bit more time to protect Aaron Rodgers. So that's another thing that I think helps. I'm not a big fan of the 2 tight end, certainly not a 3 tight end offense, but that's what Arthur Smith runs, and that's what we picked up last year when we got Arthur Smith. So I think we're just going to have to say, if you're going to run that, you might as well go get better talent for it, and they did. So at least that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and as far as the TJ Watt issue is concerned,
all
over ESPN and all the sports channels, you're hearing rumors about.
Well, Schefter did it again.
Other teams.
Well, the Steelers keep saying that they don't want to trade him.
Right.
They have no interest in trading him. They're all in right now. But I guess the bottom line is you don't know what's real until something happens.
Right.
Well, I told you guys earlier that I thought they would get something done, but now with all these other signings, it seems like they still will, but TJ's going to have to come down. I don't think he's going to get everything he wants.
So,
and to your point, Mark, Why not do it this year? Because next year is going to be more expensive.
Right.
If he wants top money.
Right.
Maybe. It depends on the year he has. But at the same time.
No, it doesn't matter. He's still going to want paid top dollar.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
whether that's realistic or not, that's what he's going to want.
Now, let's say just for shits and giggles here that the TJ holds out for training camp. They don't get a deal done. Do you see him holding out to start the season?
Probably not, but I bet he'd like show up like the day before the first game.
I don't know.
Because he's under contract.
Right.
Yeah. He's under contract. So it's not like.
But he can sit out the first 10 games.
Yeah, well, the question is he going to do what Chris Jones did last year?
Right.
Chris Jones sat out the first game.
Yeah,
Chiefs lost the first game, and then he was signed.
Maybe. I mean, they are playing the Jets first, so I mean.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I don't know that. I can't really speculate on that because I just want to see what happens when they get to camp.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is a saga that is going to be worrying Steelers fans from now
Well,
on.
you tell us, Steeler fans.
Yeah.
Are you worried about this TJ Watt situation, or do you think it's just going to resolve itself?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't really know. I mean, I think it's a good debate to have, and guess what? For the next 23 days, we can have it because that's how long it is until camp.
And we will be having it. Okay, if you just joined us or you just tuned in, SteelCityDraftGear.com, promo code PORCH for 5% off. We're wearing some of that draft gear right here. We have Curtis Strain in the house. He is to my left. He's holding up the draft towel. You have some other stuff, right? You have bundles and all kinds of stuff.
Absolutely.
You have shirts.
Shirts.
Show us what you got.
Bundles.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we have this T-shirt along with what you guys have on.
Mm-hmm.
That is a special logo shirt that was made just for those guys. And then this one right here, plus this hat, you'll see on the website. And we also have lanyards.
You got backpacks.
We got backpacks.
Right.
The pick is in.
The pick is in, guys.
Yeah.
I do like the lanyard.
Yeah. Nice.
Also, I'm gonna give you guys a sneak peek for those fans out there who have pets.
Oh,
yeah, that's interesting.
We like dogs.
You ready for it? Drum roll, please. Brrr. We are going to have bandanas for the dogs with the draft on it.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yes, I'm putting that deal together as well. Also, I know a lot of fans like to trash talk with each other.
No, you're kidding. That never happens here.
I have a rug coming up with we'll have the logo for the teams on it.
Yep.
So like for people that like to put their pets on the rug and you're out and about and the pet does the number one on the what? The rug. and piss your friends off.
Not just the number one.
Wait a minute. You're making rugs so people can have their pets pee on them?
Well,
what am I missing here?
It's a liquid soaking rug.
Okay.
So we get it like at the airport.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So we get it.
Run it to your neighbor and put it down on his porch, and then
No, here's what we do: we get a Cincinnati Bengal one. We get Sassy to piss all over that.
Curtis, we have a request for you.
Okay.
Need a little draft renegade.
Oh, renegade! There
So
you go.
I'm not sure if you know, but basically every start of the fourth quarter around that time, to kind of get the crowd pumped up, Pittsburgh plays the Styx song "Renegade."
Okay.
Now, I'm not a big fan of the song. I'm not a big fan of it. It's a little, what would you call it?
Kitschy, forced,
I don't know,
contrived,
little West Virginia. I don't know.
Okay, that's a little bit worse than kitschy.
Okay.
Do you realize how close to West Virginia we really are? I mean,
yeah, but it's a huge,
45 minutes.
It's a pretty huge leap.
Okay.
I don't see any like moonshine being made around here.
West Virginia Mountain Mama. He hasn't been in my basement lately.
I know.
Just saying.
Lived here 25 years. Still doesn't realize where he actually lives.
But anyway, we'll give you more info on that later.
Absolutely, and I'll definitely chime in and be a part of that as well.
Yeah. Now Marvin Hamilton has a question going back to our how much is TJ getting fined?
No, he won't. He won't get fined because it'll be a hold in. So he'll show up at camp but he won't do anything.
Right.
So that's what they do now. So
Yeah.
it looks like they're there, but they're not really there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just want to address this hold in thing.
Mm-hmm. That's what it is.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
It is. It's dumb, but
it's a hold in. It's kind of like I want, in the past it used to be, I want better wages. I want a bigger contract. I'm not working until you do it. Now it's like, I want better wages. I want a bigger contract. You need me to do that? I mean, what the hell is the difference?
I'll tell you
ridiculous.
I'll tell you the difference. The player is stronger than the team now. So the team wants them to be there, and they don't want to play. So it works for both. It's like it gives the team cover for not signing him, and it doesn't turn into this big thing. Even because he's there, and they say, "Well, we're talking it over. We're working it out."
We don't know that that's going to happen, though. We don't know he's going to hold in. He could hold out.
Mark, we don't know anything, but I have seen this.
True.
I have seen this dog before, and I know how it hunts, and this is how it's going to hunt.
Is it a bloodhound?
But I know it's going to be. I know it's going to be wearing. I know it's going to be wearing draft swag from Curtis.
All right. Okay.
I don't know what kind of dog it is. And it will be pissing all over that Cincinnati. I can promise you that.
Absolutely.
I'm getting one of those.
All right. Mike Lawrence says, I think the TJ Watt deal gets done. Why would he want to change teams and maybe have to learn a different defensive scheme and perhaps not be the big star he is in Pittsburgh? I
like that thought.
I think it's going to get done too. Yeah. I just think the whole mechanism of doing this seems really ridiculous. I mean, but anyway, I digress on that. Are the Sports Porch version of the draft t-shirts for sale? Or are they one-offs for on-air talent?
No.
These are for sale.
These are for sale.
These are for sale. Starting Friday.
Well, starting Friday, they will be on the website, and you guys can duplicate what we're doing here. Look cool.
There you go.
Yep.
All right.
Don't forget to use the promo code Porch.
Yes, and that's a big part of it. We want you to look cool too.
Cool as
just
us.
Like us.
Okay, let's get off the Steelers stuff for just a moment.
Really?
Even though we're getting really excited about football.
No Aaron Rodgers stuff this week.
Nah, do you want to?
I think we've done enough Steelers. Don't you think? Isn't it time for Jesus?
It's time. No, it's time for the Pirates.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there is actually some Pirates.
If the Pirates played the two best teams in the NL East every week, they might be a playoff team.
I know. They swept the Mets.
They swept the Phillies.
They swept the Phillies earlier.
Actually, when they swept the Mets, though, they crushed them.
They did.
They outscored them 30-4.
They exploded. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
I know. It was like
excellent.
Is that a good sign? Trade rumors are everywhere. We were talking before the show. The Phillies are supposedly showing interest in Bednar and Santana. He'd be a pretty good fit for the Phillies, I think.
I say trade them both.
Yeah.
Who's your top prospect pitcher?
Oh, we would never trade him.
How about your top prospect
Painter,
hitter?
Right.
Nah, they'd never trade him either. Here's the thing. What they want is they want like Mason Miller. Or one other guy, and they'll trade maybe one of those top prospects for him. But like the whole idea, I think, of the Bednar Santana deal is
on the cheap.
Let's give them our prospect number 4, 6, 8, and 12, and that's it.
Right, and the Pirates,
but actually that would be a good deal for them.
Actually, they could probably just give us $5 million now.
Right.
I mean, that's what nutting's all about.
Nutting would put that money right in his pocket.
In the pocket.
And let's see, Cruz. Remember last time we covered that, that effort around that ball to the outfield?
Yeah.
Did you see since then, since last week?
Yeah.
He didn't run out a double play. I mean, it was ridiculous. Yeah. I actually watched it live. I was like, what's he doing? I mean, he's not even running.
Yeah.
And then he apparently got pulled out of the game because he forgot how many outs there were.
Yeah. right. Hey,
this is your prodigy. The guy that you're basing your. Now, of course, in the series against the Mets, he did pretty well.
Because they benched him. Maybe he's waking up.
That's
what you had to do.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like I was looking at his stats, and it was like, I saw he had like 2 homers, and I also believe it said that he was hitting like 208.
I'm gonna check on that. I think you're right.
Maybe it went up a little bit, but I mean, that's really freaking low, man.
Yeah, it is.
It
is. I said Is it a good sign that they swept the Mets, that there are trade rumors anyway? Does it change anything? Does it change the trajectory? No. Does it? Yeah. And
no, they just suck a little less.
Yes.
That's all.
Yeah.
Right. They're still at the bottom. Right. I mean, they're still, whatever. Instead of 31st, they're now 29th in hitting and runs scored.
Right.
I mean, so they're not at the bottom. Yay.
Yeah. Well, it does seem like Cruz is starting to heat up a little bit, and Schwaber, you got to give him props. It's not 208, it's 210.
Oh, good. Good.
Okay,
wow.
let's
almost.
That's almost, nice. He's actually flirting with Jack Sawinski. Range.
He is. He does lead the team with 15 home runs. By now, you would have hoped he would be in the 20s. But yeah,
Rob, is he Rob Deere?
No.
No.
Remember,
but his exit velocity is sweet.
Chris Chada, Pirates, despite playing well, can't gain ground on anyone in the division.
No.
He heard Keller's going to the Cubs. I've heard a lot of things about Mitch Keller. Who knows? Instagram, IG claims only 2 guys are untouchable, McCutchen and Skeens. Well, McCutchen isn't really untouchable. I don't think anybody really wants him.
No, I don't think they want to get rid of Kutch.
No.
I mean, he's at the end of his career. I think they just want him to retire as a Pirate at this point.
Pat Off Track says, "Did I miss the Dave Parker segment?" Actually, you just reminded me.
Yes. We do need to talk. We do need to talk about Dave Parker,
the Cobra. Yeah, the Cobra.
By the way, just in case you're interested, after 2, Pirates are up 1-0 on St. Louis.
Awesome.
Skeens must be pitching. No, that's
he's not.
It's
Heaney. It's Heaney.
Okay, so my take on the Pirates right now is absolutely nothing has changed. They played well against the Mets. The Mets are kind of reeling right now, and the Mets do what the Mets do, which is they lose a lot. Dave Parker. I'm actually looking up Dave Parker. Let's
looking
talk
up his
about
stats.
Him. Yeah, I'm looking up his stats. I think he finished his career on the Blue Jays. Believe it or not.
He was a hell of a player.
He moved around after the championship.
He was a hell of a player.
Yeah, he really was. And it's funny, on the radio the other day, somebody was making was talking about him, and they said when you looked at Dave Parker, what you saw was a guy you thought could smash 50 home runs. What you didn't see was a guy who would win a batting title and be one of the greatest hitters.
That's the thing that people don't realize.
His era. Yeah, exactly.
A 290 career batting average, that's impressive.
Well, it was
for
him,
a power hitter.
It was him and Willie Stargell. We are family.
You got it.
Yep.
Well,
and remember, Dave Parker, when he came in, he had to fill in for the great Roberto in right field. I mean, those are big shoes to fill in. And you know what? He did a damn good job at it. The highlight that I remember from him, and I don't know why I remember this, it was in the 1979 All-Star game. I must have been watching it, and I was way too young to be watching baseball at the time, but I was. When he gunned down that guy at home and then that guy at third base, I mean, I just remember that like it was yesterday, because it was like when they used to play the All-Star game and they tried to win.
Right.
It was like he threw that ball on a rope from right field, right to the home plate, and the guy just was dead like that. He was out, no problem. And then he did it again to third base, and I think he won the MVP of that All-Star game because of that. But that's what I remember about him. And I remember just those pinstripe uniforms and that left-handed look with that beard. And he had that pea hat with the stars on it that Willie used to hand out.
I think they should bring those back.
What's his career numbers there, Chris?
His career numbers, 290 batting average, 339 home runs, 1,493 RBIs, 683 walks. He did strike out a lot, 1,537 strikeouts. But I mean, he was a great hitter. I mean,
what was his best year batting average?
His best year was I want to say 77. He batted 338.
Wow,
with 21 home runs, 88 RBIs. He did have some good years with the Reds. He left Pittsburgh in 1983. Played for the Reds for 4 years. Then he played for Oakland for 2. Milwaukee for 1, California, the Angels, and Toronto, and then he retired. So
I did see something that Larry Boa made a comment that he was one of the very best players he's ever played against.
I actually think it's pretty ridiculous that it took them this long to put him in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he passes away a week before he gets inducted in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
he was a Hall of Fame player. I mean, he just was.
Yeah, I agree. And the thing is, like, he had a speech all ready to go, but he was suffering from Parkinson's, I guess. And
like for 15 years.
He wasn't doing so well. But hey, at least he knew that he was getting into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
before he
that's
died.
nice.
At least that happened. But you are right. He should have been in 4 or 5 years ago. But we all know these are popularity contests. And when the most popular guy comes up, he's always going to get in. And unfortunately, it's not always about the statistics.
Yeah, let's say he won a World Series with Cincinnati. He won a World Series with Pittsburgh as well. I was only 9, but I remember that World Series. Believe it or not, I remember it because it was the Orioles and the Pirates, and I remember that. I just remember them losing and being sad. I think I cried.
I'm glad we made you cry. Well, the one thing that is probably going to be
a little
true,
9-year-old sissy.
Yeah.
the one thing that's probably going to be true about Dave
Fuck
Parker.
You. Is that for an F-bomb? You like that? F-bomb?
One last comment.
You were telling Curtis I drop F-bombs all the time. I don't think I said it the whole show.
Well, good for you for learning how to stand up for yourself.
Thank you.
Instead of that little 9-year-old boy crying.
That's right. That's right. Go ahead, Hockey Jesus.
Well, CD forgot Bill Madlock too. He was also
I know Bill
Madlock.
He was a great guy. I think he won a batting title. But no, as far as where was I going with that?
I don't know.
Dave Parker. You made me totally forget.
No, it was his fault. He called me a sissy. It was his fault.
That's okay. It's done now.
Only sissies use the word sissy. You need to work on your comeback.
Thank you. Rest in peace, Dave Parker.
Yes.
You were a wonderful baseball player. I didn't know him as a man, but everybody says he was a good guy. So I'm going.
And it brings us back to a time when the baseball team mattered.
Oh, that's what I remember. Thank you for bringing it back.
Yes.
What Dave Parker's real legacy will be is he'll probably be the last Pittsburgh Pirate to make the Hall of Fame as like a pirate, like a real pirate. Like there's going to be no more Hall of Fame guys. Like all the guys that come up now will become much better with somebody else down the line.
I do think you're going to see McCutcheon get in.
Yeah, but is he really a true pirate?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah, he's a pirate.
All his major, achievements are with the Pirates.
He's a pirate, but I just don't think he's a Hall of Fame player. I'm sorry.
But you're right. He probably will get in because he'll
get in.
Yeah, he probably will.
I mean, look, he won an MVP.
He won an MVP.
You win an MVP, you're usually getting in.
Yeah, he probably is getting in.
I mean, I'm looking at his stats right now. God, he's played a long time.
Yeah, well, that's why.
Wow.
Because he's played for so long. That's why he's got all these statistics.
He came up in 2009. And he's definitely a pirate. I mean, the majority of his years.
I guess you're right about that.
He had that year he split between the Giants and the Yankees. Then he was with the Phillies and Milwaukee and the Pirates. Okay, so 327 home runs. All right, Parker had 339.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, 1,126 RBIs.
A lot less games.
Parker had a lot less games.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back and look. At
Nobody's asking you to.
I know. 1,837 strikeouts. I mean,
nobody's thinking about strikeouts when they're thinking about the Hall of Fame, except for pitchers.
He did have 87 at bats in 2018 with the New York Yankees.
Yeah, who cares?
Does that qualify him?
You bring up the most stupid stuff. Like, think about how many hits he has.
Okay,
how's that?
Curtis is
2,500 hits.
Curtis is at hits 22 on the nose.
Uh-huh.
Curtis. Yes.
You know who Barry Bonds is.
I heard the name.
Right. Do you think Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame?
I'm
going to put you on the spot.
Yeah, right, you are. And I'm going to give you an uneducated guess, but I would say yes.
All right.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
We love it. We love your uneducated guess.
We love that. Absolutely. And we're going to have this debate until the end of time, I'm sure.
Pat's off track. He's talking Dale Murphy like anybody cares.
Dale Murphy, 2 MVPs, Hall of Famer.
Why not bring up Dale Swain?
Right.
Yeah, baseball players name.
All right,
Dale.
let's go to Hockey Jesus because there was something important that happened. Yes. The NHL draft.
There were several.
So to my right here in the on the porch is Hockey Jesus. Hockey Jesus preaches on the podcast after every Pens game and throughout the Stanley Cup playoffs, which are now over. You can follow Hockey
Don't
Jesus
remind
at the Sports Porch Podcast on YouTube. Now we're in the off season, so but there's a lot of things going on. The Pens just drafted. If you want to watch the draft special with the counselor, you can go back and watch that.
Hockey Jesus.
We managed to kill a whole hour doing that.
Hockey Jesus. Hockey Jesus. Simple question, which will tell me whether or not the Penguins hit on their draft. Did they bring joy to the world? The world has come.
What, the world?
I don't know the words. You get it. You get it. Joy to the world. Joy to the world.
Okay.
You get it.
All right.
Was joy brought to the world, Steve?
I would say not for all.
Not for all.
Not for
Okay.
all.
Joy was brought to the world, but not for all.
Okay.
Chris Chada says, what are your thoughts on the draft? Did the picks reveal the future direction of the team? That it does, Chris. It does reveal the future direction of the team. I can't believe this, but they kept all 13 of their picks. Actually,
that was a surprise.
They had 12.
Well, they added a pick.
They added a pick, right? They draft because they moved down once they got the guy they wanted. Let's talk about these guys. These guys right here. So these are their top 3 picks. The short guy there, that's Ben Kindle. The middle guy there, that's Bill Zonin, and the big guy is Will Horcroft. Will they actually moved up to get after they moved down, which it was kind of bizarre. But everybody doesn't like the Ben Kindle pick because the guy's just too small. That's what everybody says.
That's what Chris is talking about here.
But as far as the future direction of the team, this is what I like about their picks. All of them were from North America, meaning they either played up in Canada or they played for the national development team.
Do you have something against Russians?
No, but typically you take a Russian if you want a good goalie, or you take a Swedish guy or a Finland guy.
I prefer the picks from Mother Russia.
I mean, if you want somebody with like top-notch talent and you want to reach for somebody. The Penguins decided not to go for any really top-notch talent because, let's face it, what I did was I did a little AI thing just because I was curious to see if there was some agreement with who did well. And I said, list the 5 best teams. And I'm not going to name them all, but let's just say Columbus was in the top 5 for the best.
You mean for best draft?
Yeah, best draft.
Okay.
Columbus was number 5. And then in the one for the worst, Columbus was also in the worst 5. So all that means is nobody really knows about these kids because, I mean, if you watch the draft, by the way, the NHL did an absolutely awful, abysmal job of that draft. Mark was over and we were watching it.
Dreadful.
I can't be. You think we have technical issues? They had 10 times more technical issues with everything that they did.
I am finally vindicated.
And they had this room in the back where
hats off to the technical director,
where they brought the pick and they put them in front of the people just drafted them and they were like, say something to your new guy.
Right.
Like they haven't already done it.
You know, we're so happy to get you. Your determination, your fortuitousness, your speed, your teamwork, your cooperation. We're just so excited to get you in the building.
Yeah, and some of them couldn't even hear. Like the other team couldn't hear or we couldn't hear what they were saying. It was abysmal. So they got to fix that for next year. But as far as the 3 picks go, here's what I like. Kindle played in the OHL, which is the WHL, which is the Western Hockey League in Canada. This is a league that Gavin McKenna, who you'll know a lot about in the next year, also played in, and he scored the most amount of consecutive games behind McKenna in the whole year. So that shows you that he's got some consistency with his scoring, and on top of that, he likes to score goals. The problem is will he be able to do it against bigger guys in the NHL? But the thing is, of the 2 leagues, so there's that league and there's this thing called they like to call it the Q. It's the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. They shorten it to the Q. That's where all the talented kids go, and that's where all the scoring is. And they like to skate around a lot, and it's a more faster paced game. So I like the fact that they took a kid from the other side of Canada and from the talented side, and then they took the third guy, a big a big bruiser guy, a big power forward from the from the national development team here in the United States.
Did they take anyone from Saskatchewan?
No, but I forget who it is. I think it might be Ryan Miller. There's somebody who's from Sid's hometown, Cole Harbour. So Nova Scotia.
Okay.
Nova Scotia. How do you feel about the Pens draft? Just like overall, do you think it shows promise? Because we know that usually the number one guy or the number two guy in the NHL draft is usually the guy that ends up fast tracking it. After that, it's a total crapshoot.
Totally agree with you.
Total crapshoot.
And none of these Penguins will play for the Penguins this year. Let's just put it out there, okay? And Wes Clark said it well. He's the guy who basically makes the final picks for the draft with other guys, but he's the guy that Dubas really relies on the most. He said, "Look, we got 13 lottery tickets. The more lottery tickets you have, the better chance you are going to hit." So they only want like 2 or 3 of these guys to work out, and it's a successful draft. Even if you have 13, and let's face it, the Penguins haven't drafted in this much in the first round in decades, not just a few years, but decades. So what they're doing, they're replenishing their minor league team. Now they got some good competition going on down there. Many of these guys won't even play for Wilkes-Barre next year, to be honest with you. They're going to go on to University of Denver and Minnesota. And I think one guy's going to Penn State. They're going to go to they're going to go play hockey in the college ranks for this year, and then if they do well at the end of the season, they'll sign them and they'll play for Wilkes-Barre next year.
Now Scott, the counselor, was getting a little perturbed when they traded with the Flyers to give them number 12 to take 22 and 31.
Right?
How did you feel about that?
Well, so remember, nobody knows shit. Okay,
exactly.
But he was upset because of the size. He wanted a big guy. He wanted to go up and get the guy Martone that the Flyers got. He wanted a guy like that.
Yeah. Okay.
I think and when they picked him and he was, short guy and not big, I think he changed his tune after they got Horkoff. Okay. Once they got the big Horkoff guy in the first round and they had to move up to get him, I think he cooled down a little bit.
Okay.
He was in a boil. He was like, "I'm done with this shit. I'm turning this off. I'm done. I can't believe what he's doing." And the reality is, nobody knows what they're doing.
They don't. They really don't.
And it's really about the development. The other thing he did say, which is true, none of these guys can skate like super fast. They're not pure skaters, so they're going to have to learn how to skate a little bit better.
They're almost saying that about everybody.
Yeah.
I heard somebody make this comment, and like, how crazy is it that they're like, "Oh, he needs to work on his skating"? As far as I know,
but everybody can skate.
That's the one thing that you need to do on every single play in this sport.
Yeah, kind of you're born on ice skates.
Right. There are 2 different ways to skate in the NHL. One is straight line. So you're going straight up and down the ice. Mm-hmm. For example,
you opened up this hole.
Ben,
I apologize.
Ben Kindle does great edge work, so he can go left and right, and he's good at going around guys instead of going straight past them. And that's what a lot of players can't do. Like obviously McDavid can, right? Mm-hmm. Super fast, he can go past anybody. But that's not something a lot of NHLers have in their toolbox.
Gotcha.
All right. So the jury is out on the draft until they start playing.
You don't want to talk about the other trades that happen in the NHL, not Penguin related? Mitch Marner.
Well, actually, what I was telling Chris before the show.
Free agencies tomorrow.
See, this is bullshit, man. like,
how do you really feel, Mark?
There's no freaking free agency. Everybody signs the day before.
Yeah,
it's so stupid. There's like nobody left.
He's just mad.
That's
because
true.
The Flyers
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Ekblad's still out there.
No, he signed.
No, he signed.
Oh, that's right.
He signed.
Yeah, they all signed. And like, where's the money come from? Like,
well, they had $21 million.
Like Brad Marchand signed a big deal to stay with Florida.
Yeah,
and so did. Do
you think a
Bennett.
6-year contract for him is smart?
No, it's not. But I mean, it's I don't know. I just think I hate it when these sports like ruin things like this. Like it's actually very similar to the NBA. Like the NBA, it's
all
like
the stars get sucked up, and
all the stars are sucked up. There's nobody else left, and then everybody just resigns with their team for these like enormous contracts when they can barely even play.
Yeah. Well, the other thing the NHL did was they signed an extension to the CBA, so they're not allowed to sign 8-year contracts after this year. They can only be a maximum of 7, 6 if they're a free agent going to another team.
Yeah.
So it's one less year that these contracts will be out, and they signed a salary cap for the playoffs for the first time.
Yeah.
But that won't affect this year, which is why Vegas was able to sign Marner, because they put Alex Pietrangelo on the LTIR. So now all of his contract comes off. So that's why they could sign Marner.
All of this free agency,
man.
It is
stuff,
but that's going to go away. They can only do that this year. They can't do it.
But you know what? The one sport that always does it right is NFL.
NFL does do it right.
You know, they do it right. You know, when it's NFL free agency, it's like, you know, you get like 3 days where it's just like who went where, right? You know, it's like now like all these other sports, it's like, I mean, I'm listening to them talking about the Flyers like they're trying to like get Pia Sutter. Like
Right.
That's something to be excited about.
No, it's
Like, you know, come on, man.
it's a nice piece, but it's not a star.
Yeah, it's
All right.
ridiculous.
Hockey Jesus preaches on the podcast after every single Penguins regular season game and throughout the Stanley Cup playoffs. You can follow him on YouTube, just like you can follow us at the Sports Porch Podcast. You can also follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, and anywhere you get your friggin' podcasts.
Is it time for what we're watching?
I believe it is, but I do want to go back to our guest here, Curtis.
All right.
I want to talk a little bit more about SteelCityDraftGear.com, where you can go to get your Steel City draft gear, because as you know, the 2026 NFL draft is being held right here in this incredible city. Curtis Drain is here from SteelCityDraftGear.com. Use the promo code PORCH starting Friday, though, right?
Absolutely.
So starting Friday, you can get anything on the site, right? Any draft gear on the site.
Absolutely.
We would prefer that you would purchase the Sports Porch logo gear, though. So, but Curtis, what else is going on? Tell me more about your draft gear. Tell us more about your plans. We're looking at being maybe down at the draft somewhere in that vicinity.
Yes, sir. We got some deals already cut where we're going to be in the vicinity, not only broadcasting, but selling merchandise. We're going to make a big deal. We'll be the big black and gold tent. Location to be determined. I'll tell you guys that a little bit later.
We got some time.
Okay.
We do.
Also, we offer a little bit more variety in colors, because I look at the games of any type of game that goes on in the city, and I notice they kind of like stick to maybe just one color.
Yeah.
And this city attracts so many people from so many different areas, and it's a very eclectic crowd. So we decided to add colors. So not only do we do most of the stuff in black, but we offer things in white. The towels, we offer them in burgundy. We offer them in yellow. We're bringing in the pet, the bandanas.
The bandanas for the dogs.
Absolutely. Yep. And one thing, when we were strategizing on this one, that my manufacturer said, Curtis, you're going to do something different than anybody has never did before. I said, what is that? He said, you made something for the ladies.
Oh, there we go.
At those games, the ladies are always there supporting their men in their sports journey to pursue sports conquering. So what we did was we added
sports conquering.
That's
a new one. I like that. Love it. Sports conquering.
I made that up. So we have a logo that was designed that says Yin's not like us.
Yes.
But it comes in t-shirt and it comes in hoodie. So we tested a few of them and did like some miscellaneous drops, and it was a freaking hit.
Nice.
We sold 1,200 of them.
That's great.
So pink and the pink was the big hit, and then burgundy came in at number 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Now, if you would come up with a line of high quality, very sexy footwear, my wife would probably buy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you can work something out with Prada.
Right. Look, I've
maybe
talked to
Gucci.
somebody. I was like, footwear. I don't know if I want to go footwear yet, but I love what we got right now. It's been battle tested. It works, and we're going to introduce it to the world.
There you go.
Nice.
There you go. All right, steelcitydraftgear.com for the 2026 draft. As far as I know, this is the place to get the draft gear right now.
Yes,
This
is.
it.
This
This
is
the only
it.
place you can
The only
get
place
draft
you can get it.
And
Right.
just so these guys know, and to chime into what you just said, this brand was born here.
There it is. Now you want to turn that upside down. We're not
Yes,
we're not conquering if
Right.
we're not showing it correctly. Yeah, there you go.
absolutely. Born
you
and
go.
raised here, guys.
That's excellent. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, we're really excited to partner with Steel City Draft Gear,
Yes, we
and we're really looking forward to the next 7-8 months, however many days. If you go to steelcitydraftgear.com, they have the countdown clock. It's not tied exactly to it, but
I think it's maybe a day off.
oh yeah. Well, come on, get on it.
It's
You
in the
gotta
vicinity. It's in the vicinity.
yeah, it's close enough.
Close
But
enough.
Plus or minus 24
and we're
hours.
going to be seeing more of Curtis throughout this season, the football season.
Definitely.
Now you have actually admitted that, are you originally from Chicago? Is that where you're from?
I'm originally from Chicago.
All right. So
Thank God for your wife.
not really a Bears fan.
Yeah.
No, not the biggest football fan on the planet.
No,
right?
right.
You're more into living your life and,
Right.
and making money and providing instead of sitting on a couch and watching sports
Pretty
like us. So,
Which is why he's the successful one in the room.
but here's what's going to happen. Now your wife is from Pittsburgh,
Yes.
right? Okay. What part of Pittsburgh was she from?
North side over around Allegheny.
In the north side. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Via AGH. All right.
Mhm.
So she's a true Pittsburgher.
Yep.
Mm.
All right. So how long have you guys been married?
11 years.
11 years.
Yep.
Okay. And you've lived here how many of those years?
11.
11.
Oh.
All 11. Ooh.
You're
I'd say-
having a hard
Yeah.
time following
Yeah.
this, Chris.
Sorry.
We got,
He said 15.
Yeah.
well, if technically we were together for a year and then we got married.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go.
Was moving to Pittsburgh part of that deal? Like
No.
you're not going to move to Pittsburgh. You're
That's
not
an
marrying
interesting
me.
story.
Yeah.
I actually moved down here I was in Washington, PA at Meadows Casino on a job training op.
Mm.
And I was the assistant executive chef at the casino. And then they got bought over and they start bringing in their own people. I
Mhm.
came to the Pittsburgh area because my wife was like, well, instead of just throwing your resume out there in the universe, why don't you try love? I said, you know what? I think I'm going to try love. And I've been here ever since.
How about
There
that?
you go.
Love always finds
wins.
a way.
There it
Love
is.
always wins.
There it is.
I love love.
So my
My best
question
friend
is,
is love.
is your wife a Steelers fan, or is she kind of you guys
You know
kind
what?
of out on the sports thing too?
So I know where I'm at with sports, but my wife, the family I married into, they're a big sports fan.
Ah,
we go-
okay.
look, we do the rivalries and get on the bus and go down into Cleveland when they have those rivalry games,
Mhm.
and then they come here and then we do the bar hopping for the big game rivalry games,
Nice.
and it's just I got abducted into it.
I like that.
I like it. Abducted from Chicago to
Yeah,
Pittsburgh.
you know what, Curtis?
Well said.
I too feel abducted. I do. But okay, well, we're going to see a lot more of Curtis during the season.
I'm just so glad that we were able to get you out of that well.
Yeah. I know what well you're talking about too. I know exactly what you're talking about.
That was a deep well.
Yeah.
We're gonna turn him into a Steelers fan.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're gonna turn him into a Steelers fan.
I like
I
hanging
can see
around with
it.
these guys. This is gonna
Yeah.
be we got a big plan for the rest of the year to do great things together.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do. So moving on now, this is the last part of the show. This is the part of the show that we do to give back.
Yes, yes.
To you. Is this your tease here? Is this your intro? Or do
Absolutely.
you want me to do it?
Yeah, no, it's,
All right.
this is
Go for it.
my thing.
All right, sure.
Right?
Go ahead.
Right?
This is
So, fans and friends, this is the part of the show where we give back to you because we know how hard it can be when you are sitting at night in front of the TV with your significant other
Mm-hmm.
and you're saying, what are we going to watch? What are we going to watch? And then you start flipping around, you start watching trailers, and then the next thing you know, 45 minutes has gone by. It's time for bed and you didn't watch anything.
Nothing.
happened to me last night.
We can fix that for you.
Oh,
We
my
can
wife
fix that
just
for
leaves
you.
the room. She's like, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. And there's so many choices, right? Hulu, Netflix, Prime, Max. It just keeps going
Apple
on and
Plus.
on. Apple TV Plus. It just keeps Peacock. It just Paramount Plus. It just goes on and on and on. What are you going to do?
Stop.
Guess what? Good news. You don't have to do it anymore. We do it for you. And we will tell you if it's a winner and to watch it, or if it's a loser and to skip it. So you never have to look again. You basically say to that significant other, that friend, that family member, you say, hey, guys at the Sports Porch said this one.
You're going to
2 thumbs up.
Mhm.
Let's go.
All right. And the only qualification is that you have to have finished the season that you're currently watching. You don't have to watch all 10 seasons if it has 10, but if you finish season 2, you can talk about it.
Mhm.
Or if it's a movie or a documentary, you have to watch the whole thing, because we can't let you suffer if we don't suffer for you. Hockey Jesus would agree.
Correct.
With that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Suffrage
Correct.
is my name.
Oh my God. Okay. So the Grand Schwabini has something here that he has watched.
Guys, I wanted to just get crazy. Now, see, Curtis, these guys like to watch a lot of documentaries.
Okay.
And I can't stand documentaries. Okay.
I actually did watch a documentary.
The thing about documentaries for me is it's like, why should I watch it if I already know what happened?
Okay.
You know, but then they
Which
make
is
the argument.
stupid. That's just dumb.
Yeah.
They make the argument, well, there's all these things that you didn't know that happened.
It's
And you find them out, and it's
that's
really neat.
Right.
I'm glad he's at least listening.
But
Yeah.
but anyway, I do enjoy some of the nature-ish type stuff, like in the Everest, and
Okay.
tsunami seems pretty cool to me. Like whoa, like here we are, we're having a great day on the beach, and now giant wave, are we gonna die? Right? So
National Geographic. Wow.
yeah, National Geographic. It's streaming on Hulu. Okay,
All right.
and it's called Tsunami: Race Against Time.
Season 1?
It's just one season.
Okay, just one season.
Yeah,
That's all there is.
four episodes, about an hour each.
Oh, okay. I can do that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And, it was good. I mean, basically, I wanted to know a little bit more about tsunamis because personally,
Because you're worried about them.
no, I'm really not. I'm nowhere really in a tsunami zone or anything.
Just thought wanted to make
But
sure you knew that.
I never understood, like, why isn't there like a big wave that comes like that, like with the surfers surf on? Why is it just like sort of like this wall of continuous water comes? So I wanted to learn a little something. But mostly what it was a lot of stories. This was the tsunami that like wiped out parts of India,
Yep.
Taiwan,
Right.
and all that.
Right offside the coast, no time to react.
Right.
So-
Well, and the other thing that was actually like really interesting about this was, which I had no idea about. And this was like 2003 or 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
It was in that range,
It
right?
was around there.
They had zero warning system in that part of the world. They had nothing, man.
Mm.
It was ridiculous.
So people were like having a picnic
like
on the beach.
the only people that knew anything were these people in like Hawaii, like Americans in Hawaii, who didn't even know enough to be able to like help anybody over there.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was obviously it was terrible. Like a lot of millions, not millions, but I think a couple 100,000 people lost their lives, which was awful.
You're right. 2004, by the way.
Yeah, and it was cool because they basically took you through a number of different stories. It was like, and you didn't know in the stories if the person they were talking about was going to live or not make it.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really interesting. I mean, obviously it's kind of sad, but you learn a lot about tsunamis, and you learn about kind of what they sort of learned from this to maybe protect future generations. It was good. I enjoyed it. Two thumbs up. You can't go wrong.
Tsunami race
Wow.
against time.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
You guys talked about giveaway. I think I'm feeling generous.
Uh-oh.
Why don't we do something for the fans?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
And do a swag bag giveaway.
Ooh.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
So some of your most popular fans will probably do about 2 swag bag giveaways, which will be a backpack, a t-shirt, a hoodie, a towel, and a lanyard.
Wow.
All right. How about
Wow.
that, people
Yeah.
out there?
Generous.
Do you want to talk about this after the show? How we
Absolutely.
Do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's talk about it after the
Okay.
show. How we
Yeah.
put it together. And
Yeah.
that will be for you guys out there. We just want to give a piece back.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Amy says, I love documentaries.
Sorry,
okay.
Mark.
I want something. I got to be honest with you. Okay, so these guys, I'm the documentary guy.
Right.
I'm going to explain this to Curtis. Everybody who watches and listens to our show all the time kind of knows this already, but I'm the documentary guy. I'm addicted to them. I love them. If there's a documentary about something, I will watch it. If there's a documentary about the documentary about something, I'll watch that too.
Okay.
That's just the way I love it. I drown myself in this stuff.
You do.
By the way, I did watch that Bin Laden one.
Pretty good.
I heard it's really good.
It was very good.
Yeah, you got to watch it.
I learned things, and I watched all of them.
Yeah,
See, the bottom line
about the ones that.
That's right. You should. The bottom line is they fuck with me over this stuff, and then they're like, "Yeah, but I learned something. It was really good."
I like documentaries.
Yeah, I know.
I'm right by you.
All right, so Mark has always had a problem with the way I watch things. He calls it selfish watching. Like I'll never take his recommendations, which is not, well, in the past I did go down that road, but lately I've started watching things that these guys have watched.
You've become more of an unselfish watcher.
Yeah. Now he thinks that this show that I'm about to show everybody here that I'm watching, I did it because of him.
Mm-hmm.
And the truth is I completely forgot that you talked about it.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
I'm telling the truth.
Okay. All right.
Handle the truth.
So you are a selfish watcher.
I was a selfish watcher, but now I'm not by default.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I watched The Righteous Gemstones.
How far into it are you?
I have finished season 2.
Okay.
Oh wow!
I think I'm in season 4 right now.
Yeah, I'm in the first or second episode of season 3.
Yeah.
So The Righteous Gemstones stars John Goodman as the patriarch of a televan. How do you say that?
Televangelist.
Television evangelist.
Yes.
Televangelist.
I wanted to say televangelical family.
Same thing, you know.
Evangelical church, kind of like the Joel Osteen, but he's older, you know.
Right.
You know, millions of dollars, came from nothing. He has 3 kids. They grew up with silver spoons. And it kind of goes into the trials and tribulations of like running one of these big mega churches with a little bit of a twist.
Right.
Like what I think is really brilliant about this show is that the 3 children, he has 2 sons and a daughter. Whenever they talk, they beat the shit out of each other like they're teenagers.
They do.
The writing, I have to tell you, this show it's not one of my normal shows.
No, it's not.
It's a little more. My shows are a little more like the dramatic or the documentary or whatever. This is a flat out comedy.
Right.
Yeah.
But the writing is absolutely brilliant.
I've heard it's excellent.
Absolutely brilliant. Like it's as soon as and anytime there's a twist, you feel like you know what direction the car is going to go. And it goes in completely the opposite direction, you know?
Yeah, it's a good show.
I really enjoy it. Yeah, I really enjoy it. If you want something, there's a lot of lighthearted fun in it.
Right.
But I feel like you have to watch the first like 3 or 4 episodes and just dig your heels in.
Right, you do.
So you can catch up to the dialogue.
Right.
Once you catch up to the dialogue, I mean, you're just rolling.
Yeah.
You're rolling. So The Righteous Gemstones, if you're looking for, I mean, I've laughed out loud. I laugh out loud. The show. It's great.
I think the daughter is just hilarious.
Oh my God,
the
Judy?
daughter and BJ, her like,
and everybody like calls him VJ, and TJ, PJ.
Right.
I know. The way the daughter talks is just sometimes it's absolutely horrifying.
Right,
the stuff that comes out of her mouth.
It's very funny.
Yeah. So everybody in that show, the acting, the cast, and everything is really good. 4 seasons. It's on Max. It's now season 4 just ended, right? Like
it's the last season, right?
The last one. For the last season?
No, I think there's another season beyond this one. There's one more to go, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, I think I'm in the middle of season 4 right now.
So I just finished season 2. The Righteous Gemstones. Absolutely, you want to watch that if you're looking for something fun to watch. I love how it pokes fun at that whole genre of not the people but the cast, the characters,
right?
And but at the same time, sometimes it has some messages that are not bad.
Right,
they're pretty.
Have you met the cousins yet?
Yes.
Okay.
And that was. I'm right at that point. Yeah, right at that point.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. So anyway, The Righteous Gemstones. That's what you want. And that's about it for tonight. But I do want to say thank you
Thank you, Curtis.
Drain
Thanks,
here.
Curtis.
Thanks for being here, buddy.
Putting up
Draft
with us
here.
for the last hour.
Absolutely.
He's going to be putting up with us for a lot more. So
Yes, sir. You'll see more
Yeah.
of me. We'll be featuring a bunch of cool stuff.
trust me, we were tame this show. You know it. You've watched it. So
Absolutely.
that being said, it is time. Yes. All right. I want to thank you for watching the Sports Porch Black and Gold all over the world. If you watch us live on Facebook, YouTube, and X, you can always subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Sports Porch Podcast. Hit that notification button. You'll know when we go live every Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And head on over to steelcitydraftgear.com, promo code PORCH
Get it.
for 5% off starting on Friday. We'll remind you on social media. And, of course, I'm going to drop the podcast right after the show so you can back and listen to it anytime you want on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you get your freaking podcasts. For Curtis Drain from Steel City Draft Gear, for the Grand Schwab Beanie, for Hockey Jesus, I'm your technical director. I am out.